What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So what a day it was in the stock market today, guys. S&P 500 up 1.1%, Dow Jones up 0.6%, and the NASDAQ 100 ended up going up 1.5% as the Russell 2000 went up almost 0.9% on the day. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, going over a bunch of stocks that I'm looking to buy right now. And I want to share with you guys what I've been doing in the stock market, an earnings report here from CRM, and in general, where my head is at as a trader and as an investor. So feel free to smash that like button for me if you guys find value in the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to get 4 free stocks from WeBull, link down below. All you have to do is deposit $100, and you get 4 free stocks valued up to $1,600. So let's get into it, guys. S&P 500 today hit an all-time high at 3678.45, and we finally broke out of that resistance level that I've been talking about here on the channel at 3645, right? That was the old all-time high from a couple weeks ago back in the beginning of November, and you guys can see, and again, I've been mentioning this on the channel for the past couple of weeks, you guys can see we've struggled at 3645 multiple times, right? Once here, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and I said to you guys, if we break 3645, it's likely that the S&P is going to explode upwards, right? And we got exactly that today. I mean, take a look here on the intraday chart. We popped out of 3645, and take a look at that green candle, guys. That's what I call an explosion from 3645 up to about 3660, right? That was a 0.4% move in the beginning of the day, literally in the first minute of trading, and the rest of the day, pretty much all the way up until power hour was smooth sailing, right? S&P went from 3645 up to the all-time high 3678, and then we saw some profit taking, a healthy pull down here, heading into the close from 3678 down to 3657, and that is where we consolidated here for the rest of the day after that sell-off, which again is a healthy pull down, probably some profit taking. So at this point in time, S&P again all-time highs, and what I'm looking for it to do now is, are we going to hold support at 3645, right? 3650, 3655, this general area. That's kind of what I'm looking at. And again, like I just said on the intraday chart, we saw the pull down and we're seeing consolidation at 3660. So for all we know, this could be the bottom before we break out even higher, right? So at this point, obviously, bulls are in charge, no doubt about it. So watch 3645, 3650 as support. And if we do get a gap up tomorrow, we might, no joke, we might go back up to all-time highs again. Maybe we break 3680. Maybe we do go to 3700, 3750 at some point in these coming days, in these coming weeks. I don't think that's too out of the stretch of imagination. Let's just put it that way, right? So bulls are in charge. This is looking very good. When it comes to SPY, we broke a very big level of resistance today. Take a look here. And by the way, this is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, right? We broke 363. And what I said yesterday, and I'll say it again, if we break 363, it's likely to fill the gap up to 366. We did exactly that. We broke 366, which is very bullish, and we hit an all-time high at 367.68. And if you guys take a look here on the intraday chart, like the S&P, we saw profit taking, right? Double top at 367.68. We sold off to about 365, and now we're coasting at 365, 366, consolidating here throughout even the after-hour session here as I'm filming this video about 1 hour after the market closed. And take a look here at this big sell candle. Holy crap. It went down to 361 momentarily, but it popped right back up to 365. So overall, S&P index, SPY, very, very bullish technicals here. And when it comes down to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we didn't do as great as the NASDAQ, as the S&P, but still up 0.6% on the day. Breaking down this 20-day 1-hour chart, what we can see is we failed to take out 29,900. We actually closed right under 29,830. right under that 29,900 level of resistance, which isn't too great of a sign. But then again, the uptrend, if I extend this to the right, the uptrend is still intact, right? On the hourly chart, Dow Jones is holding that 50 SMA, and I think this should hold, and we should pop above it, right? And if we do get confirmation of the breakout above 29,900, I think it's likely the S&P will fill the gap up to 30,000, 30,116, which is the all-time high here on the Dow. Did I just say S&P 500? I meant Dow Jones, right? So yeah, Dow Jones, watch out for that move there, 29,900. If that breaks, 30,000 is my next target. And if this uptrend does break, if that 50 SMA does break here on the hourly chart, Dow Jones, we may be going down, let's say, maybe 29,700 in the short term to retest that level of support. And when it comes down to the NASDAQ 100, look at what we did today, guys. We hit all-time highs, and I've been calling for this move for the past couple of weeks, and you guys know if you've been tracking my channel. If you're not tracking the channel, again, subscribe to the channel, guys. This is stuff that I talk about every single day here on the channel, and I've been saying if 12,200, if 12,175 breaks, I think it is likely NASDAQ. I keep mixing up my indexes today, guys. I think it's likely, I've been saying this, that if NASDAQ breaks 12,150, 12,200, it'll fill the gap up to 12,400 and break all-time highs. And I was right. I don't like tooting my own horn here. I'm a humble guy, but I called this out, and it happened, right? And now we're at all-time highs, a little bit above 12,500, and we're arguably a little bit overbought here. RSI's at about 80, the relative strength index, that's overbought. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a little bit of a sell-off in tech, the NASDAQ 100. Maybe we do go down 12,300, maybe 12,350. That level could act as support, but overall, I couldn't be happier here. As a bull overall in the markets, this is looking very good. So what are your thoughts? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. I would love to know, as always, are you buying stocks? Are you selling stocks? Are you just holding cash? And overall today was a heck of a day. Let's just put it that way, right? Green all across the board. And when it comes down to what I personally did today, guys, it was a pretty active day for me. I ended up picking up some NIO stock. And by the way, I uploaded a Chinese stocks video earlier today. I'll link that down below. Go check that out because a lot of these Chinese stocks are seeing scrutiny right now. So go check that out after. And NIO's one of them, ticker symbol NIO. It went down 10% today at the close. At one point, it was down to $44. And I finally picked up a swing position here in NIO. My initial position was at $47.10, right around here, right about, again, $47.10. And then I actually added a little bit more to my position right before the market closed at about $45.15, bringing down my average cost right now to about $46-ish, right? And this is one that I think is a bit oversold, right? We were overbought a couple weeks ago. Honestly, a couple days ago, we were overbought when NIO was at $58 per share. And I think this sell-off here is overblown. And honestly, I think it's much needed and a healthy sell-off as well. So this is finally what I've been looking for to get into NIO. We finally got the pull down, and I'm in. $47.10, $45.15, and I might even add more tomorrow if we get down to, let's say, $44. And again, Chinese stocks are under scrutiny right now because of regulation. There's a House vote tomorrow on Wednesday, and again, go check out that video down below. It goes more deep into Chinese stocks right now, in my opinion on them, but overall, I'm not too worried about what's going on, and I ended up picking up some shares of NIO here today. And Facebook, I ended up locking in some profits. We saw a nice pop today on Facebook, and shout out to anybody out there that took this move with me. We've been calling this out for the past couple of days. I picked up some Facebook originally at 277.5, sold half of the position today at 285.50. 55 here, you guys can see on the intraday chart. We saw a massive spike this morning and then a continued spike after that initial spike, and that's actually where I locked in profits, right around 285.55, right? And we saw it went up even higher from there, and that goes to show you can't always time the top, guys, which is why I like leaving some of my position to ride a lot of the time here when I'm swing trading, right? And I'm glad I did, because I locked in profits, a little bit of profit there from 277 to 285 roughly, which was a gain of almost 3%. And the rest of my position is riding, and I'm up even more on that position. So Facebook, I'm loving it. I think there's more upside potential here to about 290, 295. Heck, I think it can get to 300 plus here in the coming weeks. That's why I'm holding on to my Facebook position. Alibaba's another one here that I'm in with about half of my original position. I locked in profits originally on half last week. I'm still riding the rest of that Alibaba position at about 269. Down a little bit on it, but I'm not too worried, because I think Alibaba is a state-of-the-art company. I think Chinese stocks are under scrutiny, but I think Alibaba is going to be just fine. And I'm riding it out, right? I'm riding out the volatility. And Workhorse is another one that I am personally in right now. We see a big green candle here on Workhorse. Wait a second. What is going on here after hours on Workhorse? Is it down? Oh my goodness. What the heck happened? This is live reaction here, guys. I have no idea what is going on right now with Workhorse. Anyway, okay, this is taking a big hit. I'm not too sure why. It went from $25 to $20, so I'm losing some money as we speak, guys. It's dropped 20% after hours. Now it's recovering from 20 back up to 23. I would love to know what the heck's going on right now. But anyway, I'm in Workhorse, $24 original position, added more at $19.50 and at about 22. I locked in half of my position, I believe it was last week, at $28, and I'm letting the rest ride. And I'm right around my cost basis right now, a little bit above it, as it's plunging here after hours. And if you guys are watching this video right now and you know what's happening, shoot me a comment down below, please. I'd love to know your thoughts on why Workhorse is dropping. And of course, I'll look into it after I'm done filming this video. But I'm holding on to Workhorse. Apple's another one that's a huge winner for me right now. Up 3% today, up $3.67. This is one that I've been riding since 112. We call the breakout here out of this wedge, right, out of these moving averages on the 4-hour chart. I think Apple has a lot more upside. Very happy with this one. And SLV, guys, would you take a look at SLV today, up 6%, and silver exploded, up almost 7% on the day. And what you guys notice, if you track the precious metals markets, it's silver and gold for the most part, what I track. Sure, there's other ones, but what you notice is silver is a lot more volatile than gold is, right? It usually moves higher on the green days than gold does, and it goes lower on the red days than gold does, right? I mean, take a look here at gold. Gold went up 2% today compared to the 7% for silver, and this is exactly why I want exposure to silver, because I think, quite honestly, it's undervalued here. I think silver is going up above 25 an ounce, 26 an ounce, 27 an ounce. I think it could go maybe back up to 29 an ounce, which is why I want exposure in SLV, which is simply an ETF that tracks the price of silver. So I'm very happy with that. EA is another one I'm still in. Did not do so well today, but it's okay, because yesterday it did very well. Yesterday it was up like 3%. And what we're seeing is resistance here at 128. 129, which honestly I expected. As you guys can see, I have a trend line drawn right where we're struggling right now. That is a high from back in the beginning of November, and I think we ultimately will break 129 back into the 130s, and that's where I think EA might take off even further. So overall, guys, that's what I'm in. I'm in a bunch of positions now, and I still have some cash, of course. I always talk about having cash on the side. Me, minimally, at minimum, I have 20-25%, maybe not 25%, maybe more like 15-20% cash at all times. And yeah, I always advise that. Although this is not financial advice, I like having that amount of cash just to take advantage of opportunities in the market when we do see dips. So I'm in NEO, Facebook, Baba, Workhorse, Apple, Silver, SLV, and EA. Let me know down below what you guys are up to. I would love to know as always. Now let's talk about CRM, Salesforce, right, which just reported earnings today after hours. They actually had EPS of $1.74 versus 75 cents estimated. So they crushed EPS. Revenue came in at $5.42 billion versus $5.25 billion estimated. So they crushed revenue as well. And the stock's down a good amount. It's actually down $10 per share compared to the closing price here. You guys can see it's very volatile. It closed at 240, popped to 251. Now it's down at 230. So it's down about 5% almost here after hours. And they actually saw a pretty good guidance raise as well. They raised guidance. Full year 2021 revenue guidance is $21.1 billion versus the $20.8 billion estimated. So they're beating, the analyst estimate there for guidance. They see Q4 sales of $5.66 billion to $5.67 billion versus the $5.52 billion estimated from analysts. So Q4 guidance is good for revenue. Full year 21 guidance is good for revenue. They're both beating estimates, which I always like seeing when I'm looking at earnings reports. And we got some more info on the Slack transaction here, which they're actually buying out Slack Technologies, right? That's actually anticipated to close in Q2 of CRM's fiscal year 2022. And honestly, I'm not too sure why CRM is selling off. That's the beauty of the market, right? Sometimes things happen and you don't know why. That's just the market for you, right, guys? You know, they can do well in earnings stocks, right? And then the stock goes down afterwards. That's just how it works sometimes. But at this point, I'm looking at CRM as, okay, it's beaten down. It's down about 13-14% from the resistance here. Previous high at about 265. And I think overall, this is getting oversold. I think it's bound to recover here. And I didn't take a position quite yet, but this is one that's on the top of my watch list for a potential position, maybe this week or maybe next week, right? I'm very, very close to pulling the trigger on CRM, but I don't want to get too trigger happy, let's say, because again, I already have, 6-7 open positions at this point. So yeah, I don't like having too many open positions, if that makes any sense. So that's CRM for you guys right there. Beat EPS, beat revenue. Guidance is looking pretty solid. Now let's talk about some other stocks. And if you guys are enjoying the video, hit that like button for me. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And the first one here is Moderna, ticker symbol mRNA, one of the many candidates now for the CVV shot, which you guys know the code word that I've been using here on the channel, right? That's Moderna, ticker symbol mRNA. Of course, we have Pfizer, right? Moderna, those are the top two. What's the other one slipping my head right now? Anyway, doesn't matter, right? We have those two, and Moderna is one that hit 178. I think that was yesterday, right? Very overbought. No doubt about it. Very overbought. It went from 97 to 180 in literally 3 trading days. That's almost a double up. And now we saw a big sell-off today from 180 down to about, 130 was the low. That was a drop of close to 30%. So at this point, I think Moderna could be a dip buy, quite honestly, right? On this nice momentum, bullish momentum that we're seeing. On the intraday chart, you guys can see that drop from 178 to 130, and we ended up closing the day on a nice bullish push, right? Breaking out of the 50 and the 180 SMA here on the intraday chart, closing at about $141. We gained $10 in share value in the span of the last hour pretty much. So that's a good sign that the momentum is slowly shifting in the short term from a huge sell-off, literally a bear market in one day, back to bulls gaining that momentum, if that makes any sense, right? And if we go back to that 4-hour chart, what I'm seeing here is, okay, we could end up pushing higher from this point. And I'm looking for a gap up, right, tomorrow. If we get a gap up, let's say to 145, 150, that could signal to me that maybe we're going higher, maybe 150, 160, rather than going lower and testing that 50 SMA here on the 4-hour chart, which is at around $110, which honestly, that could also be a good dip buy. It just depends where Moderna ends up picking, right? Whether it's down to 110 or we don't even pull down any further and just pop up from here into the 150s. Either or could be a nice dip. We just have to see what ends up playing out, how it ends up playing out, right? So Moderna, I like it. Argus Research actually maintains a buy rating right now. They adjusted their price target to $200 per share. And although we don't take analyst opinions, what's the word here? We take them with a grain of salt. Let's just put it that way, right? We don't just see an analyst put a buy rating and we're like, oh, let's go buy that stock. No. We don't do that. But if we see an analyst putting a buy rating, we're like, okay, that's a decent sign, but we always take it with a grain of salt. Keep that in the back of your head. Another one here is JMIA. JMIA is that African e-commerce company that I was talking about a couple videos ago. Well, it got bludgeoned today, down almost 14% at the close, 13.5 to be exact, down $4.30. And we're right around that 50 SMA here on the 4-hour chart, right? This has been a support over the past couple of weeks/months on the stock, and this very well could be a dip buy if we end up holding 27, 28 bucks. But the second we break this 50 SMA, I honestly think we could fill the gap down. I know it's crazy, but I think it could happen. Maybe down to 20 bucks. And I would love to pick up some JMIA at $20. I think that could be a nice dip opportunity. It just depends on where it ends up finding that support and confirming the pop from the support, right? Whether it's $27 and we break out to $30 and so forth, or whether we gap down below 27, we fill the gap to 20, and we rally from there, right? We just have to see what ends up playing out. But JMIA is one that I'm interested in on this weakness, and honestly, it's a much-needed pull down. JMIA and Moderna, both of these are much in need of a pull down, and we're seeing the pull down right in front of our eyes. And the next one here is Microsoft, MSFT. This is one that you guys can see it's in this wedge right on the 4-hour chart, and we're seeing a big resistance overall on Microsoft at about 216, right? This has been a resistance ever since the beginning of July, right? A little bit in August here as well. We saw resistance here in September, October, and recently in the beginning of November, all the way up to now, we've struggled at 216 many times. So I think if 216 can break and we break out of this overall wedge resistance, we can see a similar pattern to what we saw with Apple. Remember Apple? I called it out. We're making some good money there on Apple. Apple seeing the same thing on a smaller scale, right? Wedge, we broke out a lot of bullish momentum. I can see the same thing here happening with Microsoft. We just need to see that breakout, and I honestly think it's coming. So watch out for Microsoft. Square is another one here. Ticker symbol SQ, down 4%, down $8 today on a much-needed pull down. It got a bit overheated. Now we're looking to maybe test that resistance from a couple weeks ago on the 9th of September. Resistance at 203 as a new support, right? And that's actually right around where the 4-hour 50 SMA is, right around $200, $202. So I think if Square can hold this point, we might see a rally off of that, maybe back up to the high 210, maybe not high 210s, but maybe 210, maybe 215. I think that's possible. A little bit of a recovery rally there of about 3 to 5%. That could be in store here with Square. That's if we hold this 200, 203 level. If 200, 203 breaks, on the other hand, we might be going low 190s, which honestly I'm not opposed to that either. I think that could be a good dip buy on Square. And Nvidia is another one here that's moving kind of in a horizontal channel. You guys can see it here. Resistance at 590, 600, support at about 500, 510. And we're actually approaching a big resistance overall, kind of in the middle of this horizontal channel at about 540 to about 545. That's kind of been where we've struggled for this whole month of November for the most part. So I think if that's able to break, if we can break this 180 SMA 4-hour chart on Nvidia, that is where we could see a nice pop on Nvidia of about maybe 2.5%, maybe back up to about 560, 570, maybe back up to 580 as well. And what we're noticing is they are paying a dividend here in the next couple of days. So if you are an NVIDIA shareholder, have fun with your dividend. You're going to get 16 cents per share that you own, and it's not a lot. Let's be honest, it's not a lot, but it's better than nothing, right? So watch out for NVIDIA. And the last one here, which got decimated today, guys, is Zoom, ticker symbol ZM, down 15%. They reported earnings yesterday. Let me pull it up here on my notes. They had earnings of 99 cents versus 76 cents. Revenue came in at $777.2 million versus $693 million estimated. So a double beat there, EPS, revenue, and the stock is still down. This is another one of those quote-unquote mysteries, had a decent earnings report and the stock is down. It's crazy how the stock market works like that, and it just does, right? Stock's going to go down on decent to good earnings reports, and that's what we're seeing here with Zoom, and I think it's a bit oversold. We might see a bit of a relief rally. Watch support here at 400, maybe from 400 to 415. If 415 breaks, we might rally up to 440. Those are a couple levels here I'm watching when it comes down to Zoom. And I'm also watching, like I said earlier, the Chinese stocks. I'm in NIO, I'm in Alibaba, JD.com's another one I'm watching here, and Tencent as well. A lot of these are beating down. They're down a good chunk from their highs. JD's down about 13% from its high. Tencent, TCEHY, is down. Let's take a look here. It's down about 7-8% from its high. So let's see what happens with these Chinese stocks, guys. Again, we're getting a vote tomorrow from the House, and check out that video. Don't forget, check out that video down below where I cover the delisting potentially of these Chinese stocks earlier today. Go watch that if you guys do want more info on that. I'll link it down below in the description box. So that's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you all crushed it in the markets today. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get 20,000 subscribers here by the end of 2020. We're coming strong. I think we can do it. And I do appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. As always, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at StasSurfez. And don't forget to claim your 4 free stocks from WeBull, valued up to $1,600. Link down below. All you have to do is deposit $100, and you literally get 4 free stocks. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. As always, go watch that Chinese delisting video. I guarantee you'll find value there. Keep crushing the markets. Peace out. Oh, and by the way, stay safe out there. Can't forget the outro, guys. Stay safe out there.